It's really zooming in when it makes this thing here. Of course, it will probably be, in the, but as Jesus is God Almighty, Jehovah, although it's not really visible, although, because it's turned around, I guess. Anyway, so, I guess I've been dragged into a little in regards to this nonsense again, and I really don't want to waste time on this, but anyway, so this guy, in regards to responding to a creation, evolutionist. I'm woken up not so long, so yeah. Anyway, so responding to this evolutionist and another, if bullshit evolutionist comes by and blah 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 blah. He posts some post and tries to tell me that this and that and debunked and whatever, pretty much, and. It's just incredible how many bullshitters that are out there hanging on to this nonsense. 30 years I was, the thing is, am I a little angry? Am I a little angry? And I think I might be a little angry, yeah. Because 30 years that I was, served this bullshit and nonsense in regards of evolution and billions of years. And so I guess I'm getting a little stirred up with these people promoting this nonsense, and that actually knows that there's another side in regards of creationism, and yet I continue to promote the nonsense of pagan evolution, pagan satanic evolution about millions and billions of years. It's just it's snake oil poison. It's just, and anyway, so I looked at both of the videos that he sent me and all that, but trying to what shall we say, scoff the truth, of course, as always. But the interesting is that they're actually digging their own grave even more, and I will have a little hard time to actually, because I haven't looked into. But for some of the first argument was that she's actually a Christian, this Mary Schweitzer. She's actually a Christian. Oh, really? I don't know. It didn't matter in regards to the data that she found, that if she was a Christian or not. And I don't know if she's a Roman Catholic or if she's a Protestant, that might be also pretty, besides that, then you can hear her say that, in regards of the age of the earth and all that. First she says he's a Christian, right? And then, in regards to the age of the earth, well, who cares about that, Well, I would think, maybe a scientist and a Christian would care about how old the earth really is. It's just, I would just think, that a scientist would actually care about, in regards of how old is the world really, and the earth, it's just, which of course is around 6,000 years. And anyway, but who cares about that anyway, she says, right? Who cares about that? Actually, I don't know if I can find where she talked. No, it's a little hard because one of them is 20 minutes, and that's the gold nuggets here and there and all that. Then they go into in regards to the fossils, which apparently is not fossils really, because, some of them apparently are not fossilized. Tell me, how is that going to, work for you in regards of millions and billions of years, It's just, it's just like digging their own grave. Actually, I think I have a quotation from what I wrote from afterwards. Let's see here. I wrote here, I guess you evolutionists just want to dig your own grave while trying to defend your pagan nonsense. So we have fossils that are not fossilized? Question mark, Like, how would that help you guys in any way with proclaiming them millions of years? And then I just, ha ha ha, it's just, give me a break, that's just, it's lunacy, of course. It's utterly lunacy how they are, but that's the way, it's just incredible, how can't they see there's anyway, so alright, you gotta be kidding me. This is a circus of nutcases. You people believing in evolution are nutty nuts. I really can't take you people seriously. You are full of snake oil poison. Sometimes it's just easier to, write, because then you have, that's Nina. Oh, Nina has come online again. Ex-Muslim question: why Muslims are Mohammedans? Nina has come back on YouTube. At least it seems like it's a new one. I'll check that out. She was banned because of Mohammedans reporting her and all that. So at least 2 channels was closed down many years ago and all that. And she made, that's the thing in regards of Catholics, Roman papists, and that's the same thing as a Catholic, by the way. A papist is a Catholic following the Antichrist. But anyway, the Catholics and Mohammedans, they have many things together. They very much look alike, even if it looks different. They have a lot of, they have the false version of Jesus, both of them. They hate Christians. They hate the truth. They are allowed to lie for their bullshit religion and all that. Anyway, that's and then, of course, the 2 most important versions of the false versions of Jesus out there is to know in regards to the cookie Jesus of the Catholics, and in regards of the only prophet version of the Mohammedans. Anyway, well, she seems to have come online again. Very nice, very nice. That's just going to be interesting. I'm sure the Mohammedans will react on that. It's just incredible. Instead of just and Catholics and Mohammedans have the same thing of reporting. They don't like the truth, So it's just reporting, and then they get the channels or the videos deleted and all that. Anyway, let's get back to the topic. That was interesting to see that she has come back. Wonderful. Okay, so but she talks about, one of the places she talks about these fossil, these things not really. Let's just, I have the place here. I see it.
Fortunately for me, Section 7 also quotes Dr. Mary Schweitzer. So as the cited primary source, we could ask her directly what percentage of dinosaur bones are fossilized.
Let's do that.
Nobody knows. So, what I can tell you is that traditionally...
This is in regards to how many percent is in regards of being fossilized and all that. But because apparently there are some things that are not fossilized. Anyway, she will explain it. Let's go forward.
A fossil is any evidence of past life. But the idea is when all of the soft tissues and all of the original proteins degrade away, they then get buried, and when they're buried, rocks sitting above it contain minerals that dissolve and then are redeposited in the spaces of the bone, where the bone cells sat, where the blood vessels sit, and the bone becomes dense and it becomes hard. So that is kind of what we think of when we think of a fossil, is not a bone turned to rock, but a bone that's been infiltrated with secondary minerals. If you look at the bones of dinosaurs under the microscope, they look just like your bone. They just have a few extra minerals in them in the places where there were spaces. So what it means to be a fossil, it simply is evidence of past life. Like I said, nobody really uses the term fossilization correctly, but if you're going to use it in the common vernacular, that bone represents fossilized bone. That's not, that's inaccurate, but that's what people think of. When they think of fossilized bone, they think of that. And in that sense, and in that sense only, our T-Rex was not. The open spaces in the T-Rex were open spaces. There was no secondary mineralization. It was lacy, it was light, it was unaltered, and I can hold a piece of it in my hand and put it next to the piece of trabecular bone from a horse, and you couldn't tell the difference. So in one sense, it wasn't fossilized in the classic sense of being completely remineralized the way that a lot of bone is. It was weird.
So it's really depending on how people are going to be using the word fossil.
Exactly. And that's one of the things I drive my students crazy on, is words found.
Okay, so Nick.
So what you're saying is that it wasn't really fossilized. But anyway, there's of course in regards of, they talk about what was like 40% of the fossil was not. That was something in regards of percentage. We can go a little back. I think it was 40% or something like that in regards of all the bones not being fossilized. But in any case, so what you're just digging your own grave. You're actually telling us that we actually have bones that are not really fossilized. And what you find in these fossils are soft tissue. Of course, they will try to, just incredible, Anyway, and in regards of the blood cells, that's interesting as well when she talks about the blood cells. Well, we didn't really, we found these round things in the blood veins, you just have to discern what she's actually saying. And of course, they're tagging this other guy's report that is also saying that he found blood vessels. It's called blood. I got the blood cells. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, we can see if we can find that as well. That would be interesting as well. So, but how is it going to help you in regards of if you're finding dragon bones that is not really fossilized? Is it going to help you in any way? It doesn't, in regards to the percentages and all that. Let's just take that aside. But if you're actually finding these, in regards of, I think that was also a find in regards of preserved skin, actually. But that's another, there's so many things out there. And of course, they're just trying to keep it away. Another thing is that the guy that wrote to me said that there's not a biologist that will say this and that in regards of pointing to. Well, I remember a biologist disturbing Dawkins' lecture. Sadly, I couldn't find it, but I've seen it. So where he goes down the stairs while he's speaking very loudly against Dawkins in regards of. So, but and I think he was a biologist. I think he says he's a biologist, and he goes down, and all these people collected together. I guess he might have kept that lecture at a school or something. I don't know. But anyway, I couldn't find it on YouTube, but I guess it must be. It has been out there, but you never know if. Well, anyway, so these people are just liars. They are liars and liars and liars. They're snake oil, salesmen, and I'm not here to buy anything of that bullshit. That's for sure. Anyway, let's see if we can find. So again. In regards of in regards of not fossilized bones and all that, how is that going to help you? Of course, you didn't want to do the carbon-14 dating on that T-Rex and all that. And of course, even if it was paid and all that, because that will be a problem for you guys, because it will not, actually show that there's still carbon-14. Yeah, but of course you will say it's just contaminated. You would then go to that, because you're defending bullshit. And I'm just tired of liars and it's liars. How there's probably other words of bullshitters, people speaking nonsense. There's probably some other good words for that. And that's what you evolutionists are. And you can say whatever you want and all that. That doesn't make it, doesn't make it true, millions and billions of years. Yeah, whatever. So here's another thing, but we wanted to find where she's talking about the blood cells. Must be around. Let's see here. It's T-Rex blood cells. Oh yeah, that's where we go with the T-Rex blood. Let's see here, and they have an image of that. Okay, let's see here. Can we turn it around? We can't turn it around, but this is. And it's red and all that. That's pretty much it. Okay. Hopefully it got on the camera.
Those dinosaurs are not 65 million.
We have in regards to soft tissue in dinobones.
You might have seen my response video to Eric's dinosaur soft tissue webinar earlier this year.
And there we go with another picture. Sorry, it's not really in color and all that in this mode.
One of Eric's guests on that show was Dr. Daniel A. Biddle. Remember that name for later. A significant portion of the presentation, including those to Eric's visceral claim of fresh blood he just threw at Disney, was based on the work of Dr. Mary Schweitzer.
Yep.
Shortly after posting the video,
let's see.
Steve McRae of the Great Debate Community Channel, which is a great place for intellectual conversations among people of differing worldviews. Find a link in the description. Do yourself a favor and subscribe.
Okay, waiting.
Hopefully, be a part of a conversation with Dr. Schweitzer.
Yeah, let's get to it. Let's get through it. Right. Let's get through the Mary Schweitzer.
The very scientist upon whose work Eric is making his case. She rarely gives interviews, so this was a huge honor. I was able to ask her some questions directly that will apply here.
Yeah,
so
come
I'll let
on.
her reply in her own voice.
Come on. Come
Okay, we are live. Hey, it's January 26th. It's 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we have as a special guest today, Dr. Mary Schweitzer.
Morning.
While I understand that it has absolutely nothing to do with the ideas and discoveries, I did want to note that Dr. Schweitzer is a woman of deep faith.
It's not this big cloudy mystery that scientists are just sitting in their lab trying to figure out how to compete and
actually, but I guess it's going to be a little longer apparently because. But anyways, now she goes into it. That she's a Christian. She says. But anyway, what kind of Christian is that in regards to a Roman Catholic? Because Roman Catholics, are pagans worshiping the devil. But anyway, and now of course they are promoting evolution. Anyway, if you also look into the thing in regards of Lucy, I think it is, that was also going back to Jesuit in regards of, you have the Jesuits connection. All roads lead to Rome, as always. These people are, Satan's children, They are promoting all this nonsense. But anyway, that was one of the other researchers that had a lecture on that. And one of them that had connection with these, I think it was Lucy in regards of, and of course Lucy is just another name for what? Lucifer. Anyway, it's like in regards to the European Union, in regards of Lucifer Trust, which they then ended up calling Lucy Trust. And we also have a movie called Lucy as well, in regards of satanic, doctrines and all that. They just put it out in front of you and you never realize it, But anyway, let's go forward.
I don't know, destroy Christian faith. I am a Christian. I love.
So she's not there to destroy Christian faith. She is a Christian. But then it goes around in regards of who cares about the age of the,
Love the Lord. And I have absolutely. My God has gotten so much bigger the bigger I study science. I mean, it's really, really. And I don't want to waste time on other issues like how old is the Earth. I mean, really, who cares?
Yeah, really, who cares about how old the age is? Who cares about you lying to people in regards to millions and billions of years? Yeah, who cares about that, Well, maybe a scientist, would care. Maybe a Christian would care. So anyway, so I never brought this up in regards to my last video, but there's, she's a Christian and all that. I don't care if she's a Christian. It doesn't matter in regard. Well, of course, on one level, of course, but anyway, it's not in regards of the things that was, just running around the bush as always. I don't know if she's a Christian. I don't know her. I don't know if she's a Roman Catholic, because Roman Catholics tend to say that they are Christians. And you really have to be aware of that because they are the wolves in sheep clothing. Of course, people don't know anything about that. They don't even know who the Jesuits are in these days. The special soldiers of Satan. They don't even know where the Antichrist is anymore. And that's, of course, in regards to the so-called Pope. In regards of, the so-called Holy Father or His Holiness and all that. That is the Antichrist. And all his, minions running around and defending and pushing all this bullshit and all that. Anyway, let's go forward, including evolution.
I decided to ask Dr. Schweitzer about the claims Eric was making about her findings.
So I was recently in a Young Earth seminar where your research was used to support claims that working blood vessels, fresh blood cells, and intact DNA had been found in dinosaur cells.
Okay, and now pay attention to what she says.
Dinosaur fossils. Is that a fair characterization of your research?
It's wrong on all counts. It has to do with words. What do they mean by fresh DNA?
Basically a T-Rex with a steak in their mouth type of thing.
No. It depends on how you define it. And that's what I mean. Words are really, really important. Do we have blood cells? No, we do not have blood cells.
So, we don't have blood cells, she says, but then listen to...
We don't have the data to support that. We have round red structures that localize to the blood vessel channel.
Localized through the blood vessel channels. Okay. Finding blood round in blood vessel channel. Anyway, I will get to more of that,
They have the morphological characteristics of blood vessels. They have.
I have no morphological, I guess, the structure of blood vessel. I'm not sure. That's one of these big words. It's like, doctors, right? They speak a lot of Latin and, so it's not because doctors are more clever than, other people. They just, they just know a lot of language. It's like when the Bible was only in Latin and the Roman Catholics was going around and burning the saints and their documents in regards of biblical scriptures, in their own tongue, so they could read the word of God. But we have forgotten all about that because we have no idea. Now the Roman Catholic Church apparently is so-called Christian. It's never been Christian. It's pagan nonsense that just took on cheap clothing. It's actually the Roman Catholic Church that was before Jesus was here in regards of him dying for the sins of the world. It was already there from the beginning of Rome in regards of when it was a kingdom, or what we call kingship, when you had kings, already the Pontifex Maximus, apparently according to Wikipedia, was there in regards to the second king. She was already there. The hall was sitting, the hall is sitting on all 7 heads. All the 7 heads she's sitting on, and 5 have been, 6 is, in regards of the times of John. 1 is to come for a short while. That's the dukes as far as I can gather. And then the 8, who is one of the 7, is himself the beast. That's in regards to the papacy. Anyway, okay, got a little. Anyway, let's continue.
But chemical makeup similar to what you'd expect blood cells to have.
So the same chemical as blood cells. Right? We don't want to conclude that it's had anything to do with blood cells.
Dinosaur fossils that are found in the Hell Creek Formation.
And so. Well, I guess we can jump to the other video from here, but he's trying to discount Eric in regards of the child of Kent Hovind. I remember Kent Hovind. He was, he made all his information free, without copyright and all that, and that was just wonderful. Kent Hovind is one of those that actually are promoting creationism. He's a former school teacher. I think it was like 15 years of school teaching or something like that. I can't remember. But anyway, he's great on the topic. But, we have a lot of people actually, educated, high and low and all that is out there that stands on creationism. So in and intelligent design and all that. So when evolutionists are coming and pushing that bullshit and telling you a lot of nonsense, you just have to be... You have to have some discernment, that's for sure. Anyway, let's go to the other video here. And that's from one of the videos in regards of... what was that called? I actually downloaded the video because it was free for some time. Oh yeah, it's Genesis History. That is what it's called. It's Genesis History is a video you can search on YouTube. At the moment, it's free. It's a documentary where this guy goes around and talks to different people. Anyway, it was very nice. So this is a new guy that I didn't know before, I guess, a month ago or something like that. But anyway, let's here's a picture of the guy. Oh, do we have the camera? That is the guy that runs around interviewing and all that. Anyway, so let's listen to what they are saying. And the thing is, again, they're trying to discount the things of the findings and all that. Of course, we also have the guy that was fired for finding for making a peer-reviewed thing and all that, and then he was fired for for releasing that. That's actually some very interesting information he also has. Let's see if we actually have it over here. He actually has a slide. This is a 1 hour lecture, a little over 1 hour, and I'm not sure if I've seen this. Again, that's so many things. But it says controversial findings of soft tissue. He actually tells in the lecture that's Mark H. Armitage, and I actually. That was actually something I would have taken to the last. But anyway, that's just report of soft tissues in the Triceratops horn, and he got fired after that in regards to releasing. But anyway, he actually goes into that. Mary Schweitzer finds the findings in 2005, but actually, the controversial findings of soft tissue actually was found in 1966. We have another one, 1977 and 2001, and then Mary Schweitzer in 2005. It's also about you can actually see the image here. So it might be a little difficult because it's probably going to turn the characters around and all that. But anyway, so that's a lecture, and he was fired, and there's some information from him as well. So that's a third person. And now, again, there's, just...
Well, thank you for coming back in.
Okay. Let's see if we can find the other one that was... Okay, that would go. No, that's mine. It's a little hard when I have so many tabs open. Okay. Nope. But really wasting my time on these bullshitters. It gets tedious, because you hear the same bullshit from them, and they just go on. It's just there's an agenda. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's go.
Became very popularized in 2005.
Okay, let's take it a little back here. See here. There we go. Oh, and there's also some videos in regards of some of the findings.
Really squishy blob that came out of a Triceratops horn, with some assertions and appeals to common sense that squishy things have to be new.
So that has to have shaken up the scientific community. What's been the response of all of this?
The initial response, when Dr. Schweitzer first published her work, which is what became very popularized in 2005, it generated a lot of response.
The Dr. Schweitzer...
Yeah, why do you think it created a lot of response? And this is the guy that, he is one of those finding things and all that. And so what the other guy, I'm not sure what he should call, but he's trying to, see this and that and all that. So he's going to his report and showing, see, that's not what, because he's actually saying that he finds cells. And anyway, let's go on.
Schweitzer Kevin speaks of is Dr. Mary Schweitzer, the paleontologist who made these initial findings and who authored or co-authored most of the...
Well, it doesn't seem she actually made these initial findings anyway. If we actually can go back to, what was it, 1966 or something like that. But anyway, that's the findings that became popular at least, and began to get the ball rolling. And now you can really see how many bullshitters are out there trying to, and in regards to carbon 14, that's the other guy, what is it called? The very popular guy, Strauss. No, I can't. He just blows up on the telephone, it's incredible, anomalies! Yeah, because there has to be anomalies. Oh, a lot of anomalies out there, right? Oh, that's contaminated! Oh, really? Or maybe you are defending bullshit! And it's not really scientifically when you are, you're having an agenda. You're not actually looking, on it from a scientific view. You are promoting your own bullshit. That's religion, pretty much. You are keeping to pagan bullshit religion. And you might say, oh, well, I'm a believing atheist. Of course, they will not say that you are believing, I'm just an atheist, right? But that's a belief. You believe there's no God. The question is it true? No, of course it's not true. But anyway, and in regards to science, it doesn't make any sense because cause and effect. What is the cause to the effect we observe? Oh, we have a creation. What is the cause? Well, maybe a creator, created creation. Oh, we see design all around us, right? So what could be the cause for the design? Oh, maybe the designer designed the design, in regards of all the program codes that we know that are around in regards of DNA. Who could have made those? Who could have programmed those? Maybe a programmer programmed the program codes, Got to be kidding me, In regards to the science, what do you call it? The law of nature. Who created those laws? Well, maybe a lawgiver, And we can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. But anyway, it's just bullshit. That's not Big Bang, a Big Bang. So what is the cause for the Big Bang? Of nothing exploding into everything. Codes, design. Creation. Yeah. And all this complexity, yeah. Okay, just came out of nowhere. Oh, okay, yeah. It's just that's insanity. That's utterly. And then, of course, when you figure out, it's actually pointing to someone creating it, then the question becomes, who was that? And the Bible does have a pretty good answer for that. Go read it. Maybe that would be maybe a healthy thing to actually do. Anyway, let's go on.
Popular papers to come out of this dinosaur soft tissue research. Now, some of you may know that earlier this year, I had the incredible pleasure of being in a hangout with Dr. Schweitzer on Steve McRae's Great Debate Community channel. While I've used part of this conversation in a previous video, I think it's worth the rare opportunity to hear directly from the scientist who made the discovery.
Morning, Dr. Schweitzer.
Morning.
Now, Dr. Schweitzer wanted to get something on the record in regards to her personal faith.
Okay, we are going through that again. This is another video, so he's using some of the same material here. She's just going to say, oh, well, I'm a Christian and blah, 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 and who cares about the age of the earth? Well, I guess people that actually wants truth, would care about, how...
Christian, I love the Lord. My God has gotten...
Yeah, well, I would like to know if she's a Roman Catholic, If that is the case, I would have some serious issues there. But anyway, just because someone says they're Christian, who knows? I don't know. I never talked to her. I don't know her and all that. But, there's a lot of Catholics running around and saying they're Christians and they're worshiping the devil. So, just be aware of that and doing the devil's works. Because they are worshiping a cookie. Yeah, that's that little god, the cookie, the round cookie god. The wafer god. Ooh, the false cookie Jesus, Anyway, just incredible. The crunchy cookie Jesus, right? You gotta be kidding me. That's that god. That's utterly nonsense. Anyway.
So much bigger. Bigger to study science.
Wow. Seems like Dr. Schweitzer would have been the perfect person to interview for this movie.
And I don't want to waste time on other issues like how...
Yeah, maybe she didn't want it to be interviewed with that, in regards to that video, Who knows, because, you see, it's already done a lot of damage already in regards to people seeing the bullshit that you people are promoting. And and you can see the telephone call for the other guy in regards of, he actually has some pretty good things in regards of dinosaurs. I saw a lecture from him. And I think he knows. I think he, listening to the radio call, I think he knows that, I think they know if they would send it in regards of checking for carbon-14, that they would actually find carbon-14. And then, of course, he tries to discount it and, but it will not be really a valid test and all that. Wait, why wouldn't it be a valid test? If you fix something in regards to carbon-14, well, of course, it won't be a valid test because it doesn't support the, the lunacy, the idiocy, some other words, I'm sure, the mirage, maybe, the dreaming, the philosophic bullshit, Anyway, I don't have the words for it, but anyway. Let's go on.
Was there? I mean, really, who cares?
Yeah, who cares about how old the world is? Who cares about that? How could it get? Who cares about if the world is 13.78 billion years or 6,000 years? Or around 6,000 years. Yeah. Who cares about that? Who would care? Who cares about the truth in our days? Yeah, who cares about that? Yeah.
You had a lot of proposals of what it...
So here we go with the guy again. That is the guy that found the things and all that. Or another one of these that found things. Anyway, let's continue on that.
Could be. And to her credit, Dr. Schweitzer did more work.
Okay, Kevin. If you accept Mary as the leader in this field, then let's go back to the beginning.
The Hell Creek Formation in Montana, which is a very popular place for finding dinosaur bones, and we instead dug out a almost 4-foot-long Triceratops brow horn. Pieces such as this, we have found tissue with cells.
I've been reading about dinosaur soft tissue.
I wonder if it has anything to do with the other. The guy doesn't look like the same guy. This should be two different things I see. Go to the lecture of Mark here. Yeah, Mark doesn't look like, no, he looks like different, yeah. So, but I do wonder if there's any connection, because he also talks about the Triceratops horn and all that. Like, I'm not sure. Maybe they are, maybe it's the same guy. I'm not entirely sure here. Doesn't look like it, you know, it looks differently. But of course, you know, let's see here. Oh, the one guy is more gray in the hair than I think. I don't think they look like the same. But anyway, I don't. If you look, here we go. That's one guy, right? And the other guy looks like. Oh, let's see if we can find him. Nope. Let's see. Nope. Okay, we need to find where it was. Okay, where did we go? No. There we go. So that's the other guy. Doesn't really look like the same guy as far as I can see. Anyway, let's just go on.
To a lot this year, and these first claims are immediate red flags. You heard him. Kevin says he found cells. Let's take a look at Kevin's published peer-reviewed paper on these findings.
Okay, let's just go a little back here and try that again.
Block.
Okay.
Or bones, and we instead dug out a almost 4-foot long Triceratops brow horn. Pieces such as this, we have found tissue with cells.
I've been reading about dinosaurs.
So it says we have found tissue with cells, right? Now he's going into debunking this and all that. But I know the other guy was also talking about, but that also was a horn, if I remember correctly. That but he got fired after releasing the report and all that. But anyway.
First off tissue a lot this year, and these first claims are immediate red flags. You heard him. Kevin says he found cells. Let's take a look at Kevin's published peer review.
Yeah, let's do that. Now, you have to remember, you know, go ahead, actually called Kevin. Yeah, okay. So Kevin, and the other guy's called Mark. So they are two different people. But as I remember, I think it's both in regards of a Triceratops. I'm not so good in regards to the words as yet. Yeah, it seems like that both of them actually was researching Triceratops horn. I don't know if it's the same thing or if it's two different things. Maybe they did it together. I don't know. I really don't know in regards to that. There's a lot of things I don't know. But anyway, so let's see the report in regards of soft sheets of fibrilla bone from a fossil of the supraorbital horn of the dinosaur Triceratops horridus, and all of these Latin and Greek words and all that. Then they sound so clever, right? You know. But anyway, so you had to remember when you release a paper, this guy, which was called Kent, as far as I understood it. Let's try and listen to that again. It was Kent.
Kevin says he.
Oh, Kevin. Sorry. So Kevin is releasing a report to the so-called scientific, bullshitters out there. Do you think he might be a little careful in regards of his words, because maybe he knows the reaction that had actually come, in regards of it. But let's see what he writes in his report, right?
Let's take a look at Kevin's published peer-reviewed paper on this.
Yeah, let's do that.
Refreshingly, there is such a thing.
Yeah.
Results speak of.
Oh, actually, that's the name as well on it. See, Kevin Lee Anderson. Oh, actually, we have Mark Hollis as well. So we have Mark Hollis, Armitage, and Kevin Lee Anderson. So I guess they might actually have released that together. Interesting. Let's see here. Mark H. Armitage. Yeah, it's this. Okay, so these two guys actually did the research together. It seems in regards to that horn. Okay, I don't know everything, there's a lot of things that I do not know, but I know enough to reject evolution, that's for sure, I would never, even if I wasn't a Christian, I would never be able to, I would never be able to believe in evolution, if, that's just bullshit, so, it's deeply, it's just for the trash can, Anyway, that's. So we have Mark Hollis, Armitage, and Kevin Lee Anderson, and I guess I can find this if I want to search it for myself. Although I don't know if you need to pay for it, because some of these places you actually need to pay for it, right? And sometimes you need to really, really, really pay a lot of money to get access to these, these things. I remember in regards to medical research and all that. and it was free in the beginning, and you could see what doctors was writing back and forward and all that, and read their research papers and all that. But lo and behold, they closed the door. And then it cost like 700 kronas. It's like $100 or maybe more actually for what was like 1 day or something like that, or 2 or 3 days. I can't remember. But just like I don't have that kind of resources. But anyway, so they pretty much closed me out of the. Anyway, let's go forward. So what does Mark Hollis, Armitage, and Kevin Lee Anderson, do you think that they might have known? And by the way, Mark was the one that actually was fired. Do you think that they might have been a little bit careful in regards of, but apparently it was enough to get him fired anyway in regards to this peer-reviewed thing. And anyway, let's go forward here.
Refreshingly, there is such a thing. His results speak of you.
Yeah, there's such a thing, when sometimes the truth ends up slipping out, and of course the scientifical, don't like that, there's an agenda out there, open your eyes, you people. Anyway, so let's see the first thing. Microstructures consistent with cellular organelles. Okay, fine words, I guess.
With cellular organelles.
Spherical cell-like structures?
Cell-like structures.
Intracellular organelle-like structures. Intracellular organelle-like structures again. And by the way, remember the woman, again, I had names and all that, and me, and it's not. Mary. Oh yeah, that was Mary. Actually, that's, that could be actually in regards of a Catholic. Catholics love Mary, by the way. They're just, the queen, so-called Mary, because it's the queen of heaven. It's a fake Mary, they believe that she's without sin and blah, 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 queen of heaven, everlasting virgin, all that, all nonsense and bullshit. And of course, the Mohammedans believe a lot of the same things. Isn't it interesting that both of them believe the same disgusting lies, Anyway, let's move forward, yeah? So who knows? Maybe she's from a Roman Catholic family. I don't know. Could be interesting, yeah. It's interesting that Roman Catholics will just sometimes say, oh, we're Christians, right? Well, are you a Roman Catholic? Oh, just, maybe you should tell me that you're a Roman Catholic before you actually, because the Roman Catholics actually persecuted the Christians throughout the many, many hundreds of years. Anyway, and still twisting the words of God and lying, deceiving, and leading people astray and back to the Antichrist, who is their cult leader. Yep. Anyway, let's...
organelle-like structures,
red blood cell-like microstructures? So what does that sound like that we have, maybe in regards to red, blood cells, What does she say, in regards of, we have, this and that, what was it like? She used these big words and all that, in the blood veins and all that. So we have, so what goes in blood veins? Blood cells, maybe, we don't want to say anything about that. Oh, no. Give me a break.
Cell-like microstructures.
Yeah. Again, do you think that if they actually came out and told what they... So this guy having being interviewed by another creationist, or as far as I know in regards... But anyway, in regards of a creationist movie, he knows that, he can say directly what they actually found, But anyway, instead of being, going on soft, going on toes. Anyway, microstructures resembling cellular organelles. And we know another one.
Microstructures resembling cellular organelles, and so on.
And so on. So I guess with the observations, then what we have couldn't be anything in regards of blood cells, could it? Couldn't be, because it just looks like it, and it just have the same, structure, it's just found in blood vessels, I'll give me a break.
Says he found cells. In his paper, he claims only cell-like structures.
Yeah, again, so he says he found cells, but in the paper he only says he, found maybe he's tiptoeing a little around because he knows what or they know what the system can end up, because they have an agenda to promote pagan satanic bullshit of evolution. So it's just bullshit. It's all bullshit, And then you try to, when people are trying to defend this pagan nonsense and they end up, digging their own grave, I remember when many, many years ago when it was popular. I don't remember how many years it was, but when there was a lot of debate and all that, and I was talking to one of these guys that sounded really scientific, and all that. So anyway, and we were talking about it, and then he gives me one of these released papers, scientific papers, and all that, and. In regards to talking about 65 million years old dinosaur bones that they had found, and he's trying to defend it and all that. And then he sends me an article where it says that near to 200 million year old dinosaur bones or dragon bones that they found soft tissue. I think it was dinosaur anyway. But anyway, 200 million years old something, that they have found soft tissue in. And I'm like, how does that help your religion, in regards to evolution? Doesn't help it at all. And of course, I've seen in regards to up to 400 million years old. Now, that was not a dragon or a dinosaur, but anyway, that they found soft tissue in. Well, maybe it's because it's not 400 million years old, You just get so tired of the bullshitters, You people really, you disgust me. You utterly disgust me that you will defend, because it's just so open. We have so much evidence, and yet you're just plugging out your eyes and willingly not seeing it, and then actually doing the work of Satan, And am I a little angry? Yeah, I guess I'm saddened and a little angry. I guess I don't have that much anger in me, actually, but I feel. It's just so demonic promoting this bullshit when you have so much evidence and you actually know that there's another side, and then you're just attacking it on so many, when it's evolution, that is the bullshit. So you're flipping the things around, and it's like 30 years of bullshitters, telling me these things in regards to evolution. 30 years. So, I think it's disgusting. I think it's utterly disgusting that people will, and even when they know that there's another side. I didn't know. I was just brainwashed with this evolution, my this, evolution, my that, and, the family, society, school, television, all that garbage and all that. Never ever hearing about that there is something called creationism or intelligent design. Never ever hearing about it. 30 years of brainwash into this pagan bullshit. I guess one of the first times I actually did hit into it, that must have been Kent Hovind, and he started my trip in that direction, in regards of, and I thought it was so stupid, again, when I saw that video, 100 reasons why evolution is stupid, I'm like, that's stupid. I found it on YouTube many, many years ago. And I was like, that's stupid. But anyway, I clicked it anyway. And, he's pretty good at actually keeping it, what shall we say, entertaining and all that. Although it gets a little tiring after you've listened to it, many, many, many times. But it gets a little old. But anyway. And then you find out that was like a pinch hole into it, and finding out, hey, that's actually, and what I found out, all the pieces that I had that I couldn't get to fit because it just got older and older, man going older and older and older, that man was, and finding all these weird things and nothing to do with Christianity, pretty much, seeing that people would be fired for finding things that didn't support the evolutionistic idea, and finding man-made things that was older than they should, and And I remember a specific case, it's many, many years ago, so my brain is not always, there's a lot of information and you have to, but anyway, that was a woman finding a lot of things. And as far as I know, she was not a Christian at all, but she kept to her findings and she was fired. So I saw all these things and could see there was a big problem here, that man went further and further and further and further and further back. And like when you see these balls being found, that is stated to 1.2 billion years old, and these balls are man-made, well, then people go into, time travel or aliens and all that. But maybe the whole idea of 1.2 billion years are just, I think the honest conclusion would be to be either man was there 1.2 billion years ago, or maybe something is wrong with regards to the dating methods. Then you see all these, what are they called? What is it called? Fubar? No. There's something called where you have in regards of things that are found but shouldn't be there, Or it's like, it's called something. There's a short form of it. Where they find things which shouldn't be there. What is it called? Foo findings. I can't remember the word, but it's out there somewhere in regards to it's a short form of things that shouldn't be found, shouldn't be there. They are, things that doesn't add up and all that. What is it called? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, so something is terrible wrong. It just pricks hole to the whole thing, and then you begin to figure out that we actually have evidence for a worldwide flood. All those layers are not millions of years. These layers are laid down very quickly in a worldwide flood. We see it all over the world, all the fossils, from the worldwide flood. And in regards to the oil and the coal and all that, it makes sense. It just makes sense. It's sane. And then, of course, you get into the Bible thing as well about things, right? Because the Bible says in 6 days the gods created the heavens and the earth. Yet evolution is just, totally again. It just chops off the whole Bible. If we can't even trust the first pages of the Bible, why would we trust the rest? So it's just totally chopping off the whole tree, And of course, there's some people that actually say that, the Bible, but that's mixture of paganism into the Bible. So biblical, it doesn't work as well. No, it doesn't work. 6 days, and the 7th day he rested. So, and in regards to the worldwide flood, is also talked about in the Bible. And then you go on, you test it, you find out that there's actually a lot of evidence. Actually, I guess I actually took it the other way around, because I guess I came from another angle, because I didn't get to understand what the Bible actually. I was looking at the evidence in regards of and I was looking at, and I was thinking that actually makes sense. I actually thought this was just stupid. And but looking at the evidence and looking at the things that are brought up, I was like, why haven't I heard about this? Why haven't I heard the other side, in regards to this? And a lot of it made sense. It's like, this makes totally sense. This actually makes very very good sense. And then you find out, and and then all the pieces that I had was just doing, just, they just, all of them fitted it. And how am I to go against that, How am I going to go against, now all those pieces that didn't really fit any place and all that, I just couldn't get them to, and, and all these pieces now but just being laid down, ding, 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 ding. How am I going to go against that, If I'm going to be truthfully to myself in regards of standing for truth, I have to take it to the direction it takes me, And anyway, if you research revolution, it goes, you can find it goes back to Romans, then the Grecians, and then India. You can follow it along and all that. There's a guy that has a lecture on that. Very interesting. Some believe it goes back to Babylon. I haven't been able to, I don't know. But in any case, it's the thing is, it's just a pagan satanic lie. It's bullshit. It's nothing new. Darwin didn't promote anything new, although it so-called evolved. Like you love that word, right? Evolved. So this evolutionistic idea just evolved. The age of the Earth became older and older and older and older. And here we go, 13.78 billion years ago, I think it was. Anyway, if you're going to look it up on Google. Anyway, let's continue.
I'm not disputing what Kevin is looking at are preserved remains of cells, just like what he dug out of the ground was the preserved remains of a horn. I'm being picky about this because they are not currently cells. And that misrepresentation is what Kevin is trying to make the audience believe, because he's going to proceed to argue that this is an argument for young bones.
Yeah, because it is. And again, when they go on in regards of fossilized, that apparently a lot of these bones that we find are not even fossilized. So how does that help you? How does that help you in any way in regards of saying, oh, these are millions and billions of years? How does that help you if they haven't even fossilized? How does it help you in regards of keeping them for 65 million years in the dirt? How does that help you? I just don't see it, I think you're just digging your own grave. And it's just digging, it's so obvious for those people looking for the truth that you absolutely are just totally outrageous nutcases who are just promoting this bullshit. It's totally brainwashed people that, have put out their eyes, seemingly, Anyway, I think we got pretty much that. Anything else that was interesting? I guess that was the two things that in regards of that. Oh, actually, in regards of the fossilization, that the argument that was, I think it was just, trying to discount it and yet actually, ending up proving, that we actually have fossils that are not fossilized. Again, you got to be kidding me, that was the Lawrence Krauss. He just totally explodes on the radio call with another guy that does a radio host that has done a lot of research as well. It's just, anomalies, and what was it called? Anomalies and things that was polluted pretty much. What is it called? That was another word for it, but I can't remember it at the moment. I used it, but anyway, polluted things, that things that are contaminated, and it's just anomalies. Yeah, we're finding these anomalies everywhere. Everywhere. Maybe it's because evolution is just pagan bullshit. And, but anyway, they use a lot of arguments, which is not true, because they're bullshitters, they're liars, they're deceivers, they're workers for Satan. And I'm actually getting a little hungry as well. Anyway, but Lawrence Krauss is so interesting how they're digging their own grave in regards of evolution, and still they're just, ever heard about the axis of evil? And in regards, they put these satellites up in the air. And this is these documentaries are actually made by papists, Roman Catholics, and all that. So you have to be very careful. They have 3 videos out. One in regards of, and as you can see, my nails are getting a little long, and that means that we are very close to the new month in regards to the new moon, because I usually use this as an indicator that, okay, we're getting close to the new month. It's like a way for me to, so I clip them at the new moon, and then it's just this is not a biblical, there's not a, it's just for myself, and I, sometimes I clip my hair and to then, anyway, but the nails is a pretty good, because when they begin to become really, when they begin to annoy you and all that, that, okay, we are getting close to the new month in regards to the new moon. So pay attention and all that, right? Anyway, that was an off-topic thing here and all that. Just trying to make things easier for myself, because there's so many things in regards to the festivals of Jehovah and And all the nonsense, all these pagan bullshit traditions that you people are keeping, like Christmas and Easter and Halloween and all the rest. And Sunday is the last day of the week. No, it's not. It's the venerated day of the sun god Sol Invictus, and many, many other names in regards to Mithra and was a Heli. I can't remember all the names. But anyway, Sol Invictus is like the ecumenical term of the sun worshippers, celebrating that big pagan festival at the winter. And of course, the New Year, the pagan New Year, the Roman pagan New Year of Janus is pagan bullshit as well. The New Year is in spring, not in the winter. Anyway, but you're all bullshitters pretty much. You're so full of bullshit, all of you, stinking crap, and just puking all this nonsense all around, Anyway, I'm just getting tired of it. I'm just getting tired of you bullshitters. And I'm not going to stand by it. And you can say this and that, and you can make it sound very nice and very scientific and all that. Doesn't make it true, Doesn't make it true. I'm not a learned whatever and this and that, but God is the one that gives wisdom and discernment. And something is absolutely wrong with the pagan bullshit of evolution and the rest of this, the traditions, bullshit traditions of Rome. Anyway, let's see.
But is this an important distinction? I had a chance to ask Dr. Schweitzer.
So I was recently in a young Earth seminar where your research was used to support claims that working blood vessels, fresh blood cells, and intact DNA had been found in dinosaurs' fossils. Is that a fair characterization of your research?
It's wrong on all counts.
Yeah, but again, then listen to what she says.
It depends on how you define it.
Also, how it defines it.
And that's what I mean. Words are really, really important. Do we have blood cells? No, we do not have blood cells. I don't have the data to support that.
So we don't have blood cells, but we have things in blood veins, right? Looking like blood cells. And
we have round red structures.
What? Right. Let's try that again.
No.
Okay.
Characterization of your research?
It's wrong on all counts. It depends on how you define it.
How you define it.
And that's what I mean. Words are really, really important. Do we have blood cells? No, we do not have blood cells. I don't have the data to support that. We have round red structures.
Round red structures. Okay, we have round red structures. Did I get that right? Round red structures in what?
That localized to the blood vessels.
Localized to the blood vessels. Channels, blood vessel channels. Okay, yeah.
They have the morphological characteristics.
And have the morphological characteristics, which is a very big word, of blood cells.
The blood vessels. They have a chemical.
Oh, sorry. Let's try that again. Maybe I got that wrong. Let's try that again.
I don't have the data to support that. We have round red structures that localize to the blood vessel.
Okay. Yeah, again. Round red. Let's try that again. She's talking a little quick here. And I'm not a native English speaker.
We have round red structures.
Round red structures.
That localize to the blood vessel.
That are localized to the blood vessel channels.
They have the morphological characteristics.
They have the morphological characteristics
The blood vessels. They have a
of blood vessels. Okay.
Makeup similar to what you'd expect blood vessels to have, blood cells to have.
Okay, so there are no actual.
Yeah, well, anyway, you make up your own mind. I think God is pretty much clear on, all these things that is being shown. You can see the images for yourself as well in regards to these blood vessels and these round things that are in the blood vessels. Well, I wonder what could that possibly be, What could be in blood vessels that, looks, that are round and red and looks like blood, anyway, they don't, And the soft tissue as well. You can see the soft tissue as well. Both the one that we saw here and you also have it from her where she's pulling this, and where it slips back and all that after. So anyway, I think a lot of these evolutionists are missing the mark, and they're doing it on purpose. They're just totally blind. They're hanging on to their bullshit nonsense. And actually, if you look into it, a lot of Satanists are actually, running along with that. You can just look at some of these videos, and you can just see all these satanic things that is. So a lot of Satanists are promoting this. So anyway, so it's not a surprise. It's really because it is pagan bullshit. It is satanic bullshit. I remember when I was in the occult, and evolution just goes hand in hand with the occult as well in regards to evolving into God, So this is one of the things that becoming more and more and all that. Whatever. So this is one of the things that you can find in regards to the occult, and it works with evolution. Maybe it's because evolution is a satanic bullshit, deception. And anyway, I think I went around it. Apparently, I tried to post some images on Facebook, but apparently that's a problem as usual. It's interesting how many problems I have with Facebook, but interesting how things can jump and make totally. I think someone is doing something, and but anyway, and I really shouldn't use Facebook anymore, but it's a little hard to get off it. Because I have so many years of, but in any case, so it's just become, but there's so much bullshit on Facebook in regards to how it works and advertising and all. Anyway, let's, I don't think I have much more. Of course, I could go to the video and see some of the things that the guy wrote to me in regards of, if you can find the video from my own channel here. Let's see, and there we go. Response to an evolutionist in a creation group, and this is Infinity 730, and that was actually the guy that fixed these videos for me, and he. Okay, let's read a little. In regards of your claims of soft tissue, I suggest you do a bit more research. The woman who discovered it is a Christian and does not accept the young Earth creation position. I never, ever put that forward. It doesn't matter if she believes it or not. There's a lot of people that are not believing it. It doesn't matter, In regards to soft tissue, you can find, search soft tissue on YouTube and all that, and you can see the soft tissue for yourself. It's just, they have, I think it's one of the mainstreams, and they have showing the soft tissue being able to pull and all that. They can call it whatever they want, but the facts are the facts, and it is there. Anyway, one thing that does bother, and that was in regards of the other guy, which was called Mark, I think, wasn't it Mark? It's interesting that this is actually seemingly a discovery that was found 40 years ago, I think it was 40 years ago in regards to 1966, or maybe it's more than 40. Anyway, but apparently she wasn't the first one that actually found it, but I guess she was the first one actually getting it in the mainstream. One thing that does bother me, though, is that young Earth creationists take my research and use it for their own message, and I think that's in regards of her and all that. So he's just quoting. I don't care what you think. I don't care. The facts are the facts. What she found, she found. I don't care. She might be a Roman Catholic. In regards of she might be a Roman Catholic as how do you say that in English? But I don't care. It doesn't matter. The thing is that she found this, and we have the evidence, and she's not the only one finding these things. After after it was made public, a lot of others people were doing the research, and of course you have to be careful because the scientific society doesn't like You can just look at the guy that was fired. And you can find, that's Mark, I think it was called. And he has a video in regards of in regards of they fired him after he released this. oh, I thought scientific was like that we should look at, and he was fired for, there's an agenda, and if you can't see that, you're just utterly blind, I remember another video where this guy is talking, he's a scientist of some nature, and he says, he didn't think there was anything in regards of the scientific and all of that, and that was any of blind. How blind can you be? And then later on, he gets fired himself, and then he comes back, it's like, I've never been treated like that, and it's like, at least, it's like, did he get fired or was taking the resources for his work? Told to be, I can't remember all details. It's on my website in regards of, but he's like very surprised that this is happening to him, and it's just something seen again and again and again and again. Hey, I'm sorry, I can't remember everything. There's a huge amount of things to, but I do know what I see, and I do know the conclusions and all that. If I should, I can't remember everything. I'm trying to learn Hebrew and Greek as well and all that, and some Aramaic and all that. I just can't cope with everything, okay? It's just, you research a thing and you throw out the things, and then you know the conclusions of it, and then you go on, to the next subject. Anyway, see here. Pastors and evangelists who are in the position of leadership are double responsible for checking facts and getting things right, but they have misquoted me and misrepresented the data. I don't think that anyone have misrepresented. We find soft tissue. Soft tissue is found. Whatever you want to call it. We find things in those dragon bones that shouldn't be there. If they are 65. Now, of course, I know they now trying to make you believe that can actually survive for up to 400 million years. And then they don't want to do the carbon-14 test because, that will not work, So why would it not work in regards to carbon-14? It's either an anomaly or it's contaminated. Give me a break, you people. Because carbon-14 is the second thing that is pointing that these bones are not millions of years old. And when you find datings from 15,000 to 30,000 years old, and carbon dating, when people say, well, we have carbon dating in regards of, dating them to millions of years old, bullshit. Carbon dating doesn't work that long back. So don't give me that bullshit. There's something bullshit that people are also promoting, but we have carbon dating that, so we know they're 65 million years old. Well, actually, the carbon dating actually showing otherwise. That's actually proving that these things are not 65 million years old. Because we find the soda pop still bubbling with carbon-14. Anyway. But then it has to be just, it's just an anomaly, or the things have been contaminated. Give me a break, the bullshitters. it's just full of bullshit. Anyway, I know I'm saying it over and over again, but that's what it is. Bullshit, and more bullshit. It's just garbage. Anyway, so he quoted this from Schweitzer and all that. What do I care? What does that take? Does it take away from anything? No, it doesn't. Apparently the guy that made the two other videos was Paology, and I don't care. I don't care what he says. He's full of bullshit, So, and of course, there's some good stuff also coming with, because then it at least gets out there and people can do more research for themselves. Of course, those people that just want an excuse, well, maybe just, okay, there we go. See, he says it, so then it must be true, right? Anyway, so let's see here some of the answers and all that. Let's see here. I write back in regards to that. First thing, I don't know if she's Christian. Clearly, that's before I saw the videos here. In regards of she's proclaiming to be a Christian, but again, it doesn't really matter to me. Clearly, it does not sound like it from what you quote in regards of she being, talking about that she's not a young Earth creationist, but she might be a Roman Catholic. I don't know, and again, I don't care. It doesn't matter in regards of what we have found. Doesn't take away from, just because she doesn't believe in a young Earth creationist or creation, it doesn't take away from its being the truth. The truth. And when she says, oh, well, who cares about how old the Earth is? Yeah, well, I would think someone that, is a scientist and a Christian would care for that, But anyway, what do I know? Anyway, I've said the same thing over and over again, I guess. And I write second, it does not matter. She is not the only one that has found it, just the first, and yet you guys persist to cling to darkness. And it becomes so much more clear that evolution is a religion and that science in our days has been captured by pagans who have their own agenda pushing nonsense. It's not science anymore. It is bullshit propaganda. It does astonish me how blind you people can be and how dishonest the heart of mankind can be and cling to lies and deceptions, even being served so much truth on a silver platter, and yet having no eyes to see that evolution is bullshit. Can't you perceive any problem that dragon bones are filled with soft tissue and carbon-14? Like, come on, use some understanding and clear thought and have some honesty with the data. The thing is, you can pretty much, it doesn't matter how much evidence you actually put forward to these people. They will just reject it. They will do anything and everything to reject it. That's their religion. That's their bullshit religion. It's nothing to do with science. It's just they're, following the father of lies instead of following the father of truth. Anyway, let's see here. Right, in regards of what I believed before and all that, that I believed that evolution was to me the truth of truth until I heard about the other side, as I was never told it existed. I've used many months of research, actually, I guess years, because it's have been an ongoing where you get back to the topic again and again. But I've listened to a lot of things, researched a lot of things and all that, and I can't just take that out of my brain and just, scrap it, It's there, and thereby there's no, for me to be truthfully and reasoning, there's no way that I will ever believe that evolution is true. It's bullshit. It's bullshit and full of holes. Anyway, and it's just, it's demonic, satanic nonsense. Anyway, and there's absolutely no way I can ever proclaim evolution to be true because all the evidence supports creation and intelligent design, of course. It is, as I see it, a confirmed theory and stands on absolute solid ground. What does not stand on solid ground is pagan evolution. It falls to pieces and broken, and it is no more. People can scream and get angry and promote it as much as they want, but all in all, it is just pagan bullshit. People clinging to their satanic darkness who won't accept truth and real science, which observation supports the Bible on so many levels. I remember a Danish, there was actually a Danish from, I guess, a university or school, whatever, and all that. And he was, talking against creationism. And I wrote him both on his email and in regards of YouTube. Now, I don't know. I'm not so good in regards of this and that, but, better have someone, defend the truth than no one, right? So instead of just letting this, these things slip. But anyway, he never wanted me to come by. So it doesn't matter. Even if it looks like I'm losing, I will win in some sense because I cannot lose because I'm standing on the truth. It doesn't matter how ridiculed a creationist is. It doesn't matter how much you can ridicule or scoff the person that stands for the truth because the truth stays the truth. And thereby, there's no way of losing, even if it looks like that. Even if it looks like you are, because the truth stays the truth. And if you just stood for the truth as best as you could, you might not, be able to respond to all these things here and there and all that and all these big words and whatever and all that, but that doesn't take away from the truth, So just because they make you look silly and all that. And remember, if you just touch one person that actually goes into and say, well, there might be something about it, and he might actually go out and look for himself. And he might be the next big guy, into, apparently we have some problems with I guess the battery is not, I don't know. But the mobile doesn't seem to, 5%. Oh, it can actually just, at least it can get a little juice. Why didn't actually, it didn't warn me at all. That's interesting that the mobile is not warning me about this. Anyway, hopefully it will keep it alive. Anyway, I should probably also stop now. But he's, going on in regards to this nonsense. Defending his pagan nonsense bullshit and all that. And that's, and just trying to, but anyway, the truth stays the truth. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how a person makes you look in regards of scoffing, makes you look, stupid or whatever. It doesn't matter because the truth stays the truth. And, so there's no way of losing, If you're standing on truth, there's no way of losing. If you want to call it that, whatever you want to. Let's see here. He's responding to, never do we see anything about 10,000 years old. And he says, 10,000 years ago was the agricultural era, where people who were already around were planting crops. There are trees and other plants still alive today that are older than that. Oh, really? The Pando colony of quaking aspen trees in Utah Fish Lake National Forest is over 80,000 years old. You see, they have all this brainwash thing and all that, and they will just, that's what they're promoting. It's a huge, I guess it's a cult in some sense. It's actually, I guess it is a cult, it is a cult promoting their nonsense. And they don't see how much brainwash they actually are, and then they call it science, You see, science was infiltrated by these pagan bullshitters. And now we have evolution in regards of, if you read all these science magazines and all that, you can see how they mix pagan bullshit with real science. It's not to say that there's no real science in them, because there is, but there's also a lot of pagan bullshit. And you really have to discern. And if you can look through it, you can actually find evidence, for the Bible, where they're just trying to get around it and run around the bush and all that. So here's one of my answers. Yes, my opinion is irrelevant and the truth stays the truth, and thereby I'm a creationist and nothing can change the facts, which is all over the globe. However brainwashed I was for evolution, I'm done with that pagan bullshit that, by the way, go further back in time than Darwin. It's satanic paganism, an old idea of Satan, which was just made popular in the West. So, anyway, and this is 1 hour ago he writes the irony. Oh yeah, the irony of pagan bullshitters, the irony. That's I guess that's very ironic. You're saying that you're a scientist, right? And you can't even look at the evidence, from without having this pagan nonsense with you, When you look at the layers, you see millions of years, instead of actually just seeing the destruction from a worldwide flood. And those layers have no corrosion, and there's no wormholes or animal holes in those. These are not millions of years. These layers was laid down very quickly in a worldwide flood. And yet, totally blinded, can't see anything, right? Oh, we can't see anything. We don't lie out. Oh, millions and billions of years. Oh, you're just coming from a monkey or an ape or whatever you want, whatever. As I understand it, there was something in regards of Darwin saying monkeys, but you will say ape, but I don't really care. It's bullshit anyway. You're missing the point. And of course, you're really good at missing the point, But, getting further back, you came from a fish, right? Your ancestor was a fish, right? And of course, the fish, that's, in regards to the pool of mud and, becoming dry and wet and dry and wet and dry and wet. And by a miracle that has never been observed in the laboratory, then we had life. And apparently the life took a bus or something like that to the to the ocean. And from the, then it became a fish, and apparently it became homesick, so it went up on land. And it became a goat, and the goat became hungry, apparently, and then jumped into the sea and became a dolphin. You think I'm going to believe that bullshit, You really think I'm going to believe that bullshit? Absolutely not. But the story of the goat, that was a fun story, I guess, in a science magazine. And they take it seriously. That's the I guess, you don't know if you need to cry or laugh, That's the problem, because it's so sad. They actually take it seriously that the goat didn't have enough food, and then it jumped into the sea, and it became a dolphin. So next time you look at a dolphin, you just think goat, The insanity just doesn't stop. It just goes on and on and on. Evolution is a club for people that are insane. Anyway, I'll stop it now and I'll upload the video. I pretty much did speak about a lot of the same things, but the best thing, of course, is to do your own research. And just look into it. There's many people of different that talks about it. Actually, I have some of the names on my webpage, but because again, I'm really bad to remembering names. So let's see here. I've not put all of them, but some of them. Let's see here. Pictures, quotes. I think it's maybe not under quotes. Web links, no notes. Maybe notes under notes, probably. I'll put it there. Let's see. Okay. We have Lee Strobel. That is in regards of his Jesus is real historical. Paul Meyer, Dave Hunt in regards of a lot of the occult and history. Also in regards of a woman rides the beast, although she actually rides the 7 heads. But anyway, or sits on the 7 heads. Anyway, Carol Mastriciani, Occult Hinduism and Eastern Bullshit. Joanna Michaelson, former witch occult. Former witch in regards to the occult. Carl Bach Creation Evidence Museum. I think Carl Bach is one of those in regards to the footprint of dinosaurs and man together. I think he's educated, Then we have Ark Bonham in regards to Noah boat, Iran, genealogy, Babylon, Protestant truth, the Lamb in the Dark. No, that's Tom Fresh, that's Protestant history. Jörg Glissman, that's Protestant history. Alberto Rivera, Antichrist Information Center, or ARC, who's a former Jesuit. We also have a Spike Passaris or something like that. Evolutionist who became creationist and then Christian in regards of he's talking about planets and all that in regards of the ages, doesn't support evolution. Billy Crone, Baptist, occult and overall mix of everything. Ken Hovind, Baptist, strength creationism, 100 reasons why evolution is stupid. We have Don Patton, he's a professor as well. He's also one of the guys in regards of footprints and dinosaurs, man footprints and dinosaurs, and also goes into creationism and many other things and all that. We have creation.com, science magazine and material and research on creation. We have Ken Ham, Australian. In the US, he has the big Noah Ark Museum, Answers in Genesis. We have John McKay, which is in Australia. He also has a website page, but I haven't, there's a lot of things I hadn't really fixed. Grady McMurtry is in regards to creationism. He's also an educated. A lot of these people are actually educated. John McKay actually takes on Dawkins. And I think Dawkins is utterly obliterated by John McKay. But anyway, we have Great McMurthy, who's also an educated guy. Grew up, if I remember, in regards to dinosaurs. I think maybe his father or something like that was actually into. But anyway, he knows a lot of things as well. Too Long and the Sun in regards to pagan traditions. Jim Staley in regards to pagan traditions. Michael Root in regards to pagan traditions. And what did Christianity do? The World interview. What did Christianity? Oh yeah, that's actually something I'm looking for. I remember in regards of interview that was very nice in regards of what good did Christianity actually do to the world in regards of And that was a very good interview. Sadly, I have not been able to find it again. I found some other things, but not in the... Anyway, we have James Arabito in regards to he's an SDA source on the Jesuits. I also have other things, but just remember that he is an SDA. But he has, in regards of good information on the Jesuits, we have Bom Inyard in regards to creation. He's the one that actually... He's actually the one that actually... also talks about the soft tissue and all that. We have Chris Pinto, that's more like history and biblical thing. Anyway, I should stop now. May Jehovah be with you, and Yeshua be a most precious pearl, and the spirit of truth be in us all. Amen. Have a good one, and the list is found on my webpage. It's found in the notes, although the list is not finished, far from it, and I should really, there's so many things. Anyway, have a good one.